But I wasn't rich my whole life.
I wasn't rich ever.
You know why I used to live at 1 and 2?
What? Come on, there's more to it. Watch this.
9 years old, I had one pair of sneakers. You have an iPhone 16 Pro Max. You have your own house in the back of a mansion, and you are complaining about
Can I ask you a
what?
question? No, I'm not complaining.
And then you say we two different people.
What's your last name?
James.
What's my last name?
Jones.
2 different people.
Listen,
We 2 different people.
you never ate tuna fish. You never
I never ate
bread and syrup. You didn't even ramen
I wasn't
noodles,
rich
bro.
my whole life.
Bro, listen. You only eat caviar.
I wasn't rich my whole
Your
life.
grandmother just said y'all eat seafood 4 times out the week.
See, that's my new
You know
life.
the only...
I wasn't rich my whole life.
You got a 16 Pro Max.
But I wasn't rich my whole life.
I wasn't rich ever.
You know why I used to live at 1 and 2?
You know where you lived at 8 and 9?
But
It's not about what how your life used to be. It's about how it is now.
But it matters.
Hey, he got more 8 9 than 1 and 2 on it.
But it matters where you came from too. So
1 and 2 can't compare to 8 and 9.
So let's understand this, right? There's a couple of things at hand, and it has to be discussed. It just has, because it's disgusting. Number one, little baby, get your son around some far better individuals. There comes a point in time where the quote unquote millionaires and all this stuff and everything like that, where they surround their kids with other millionaires. Your kid still has something to prove. About what? He said, do you know where I was at 1 and 2? Youngin, you don't know where you were at 1 and 2. Let 0.0 people tell you where you were at 1, at 2, at 3, at 4, and guaranteed you probably remember only the 4 years old stage. What is it about this hood mentality that people of our ilk, of our skin color, of our lower tax brackets starting up have to prove about anything? One of the worst things you could be is a street dude, a hood ninja, because I'm on the I'm on the Reloaded channel. Like, what part of the game is this? In all candor, like, what makes it so cool to be so dumb? There's a saying, right? They used to say, what part of the game is that? This is so disrespectful on so many levels, because one, little baby has been working to put his kids in better positions. You got the one youngest one, he's just a free spirit. I'm not going to make any assumptions about his child. Like, some of y'all weird for that. Like, we could go back to a lot of y'all old VHS tapes and stuff like that and see how y'all dressed, and y'all was way crazier than that. I know cats who grew up as straight up dancers. Like, I'm talking booty popping and everything like that. And we used to have, in high school, we used to have this thing called twerp day, TWERP, where the boys would dress like girls and girls would dress like boys. And a couple of cats that are in them pictures that I remember, they in jail for murders. They were gangbangers. Nah, I ain't never do it because I thought it was stupid. Me personally, I thought it was dumb. Like, bro, why I need to dress up like a bride for? Like, I didn't get it. I just didn't. But neither here nor there. Little baby has to surround his son with higher elevated people. Those type of conversations are detrimental to your child. And he's intelligent. His little rebuttal, if he was smarter, like we talking about much smarter than what he is, when he would have said, when he said, what's your last name? What's my last name? 2 different people. He should have said 2 different levels. What he should have said was, I don't have that struggle. My struggle is continued enterprises that can build up future generations and keep this family going for me and my brother. He doesn't have that mindset. You had to indoctrinated into him young. And some of you cats are going to be like, man, let him be a kid. No, that's that loser mentality that a lot of you cats don't understand. That's why your kids are failures these days. When you seen Tiger Woods, right? The first time that the world seen Tiger Woods was as a kid. When NBA YoungBoy's son, that's what Floyd Mayweather right now, who is undisputed the greatest boxer of all time. Not talking about fighter, we're talking about boxer. He's going to grow up and literally be a world championship boxer, whatever weight class is whatever weight class. I won't make any permeations about that. But what I am saying is you train them young. That's why when I threw the stat at y'all that a majority of the NBA players and NFL players, like the successful ones, they have mommy and daddy. But also at the same time, what do we have when we kids, or when those kids were growing up? Camps. What do you think a camp is? To solidify and sharpen skill. That's what that is. So when you see a young kid indulging in peasant-like conversations, that's what he will try to put together. It's crazy because this reminds me of T.I.'s son. When T.I.'s son want to be so from the hood and all this stuff, like, what do you gain from that? He used to have to go to high school and get tried because the kids were rejecting him. Oh, yeah, I'm like this. Oh, yeah, I'm like that. Bro, why do you need to be like that? You should be in private school. Ain't nothing cool about being anything as far as associated with the streets. What, you want to gangbang? Want to die? You want to do drugs? Have a ton of kids? Never value yourself? Never value your family? Never value women? Never value men? Nah, bro, I'm out on that. I think that's one of the dumbest things that happens with a bevy of kids is trying to harbor and hold on to hood and street and all this BS mentality that ultimately leads to nothing. The succession rate of people in the hood versus the succession rate of people with stable foundations as far as tax brackets, just annual income is literally between $100,000 to $85,000. Insane. How a stabilized, we ain't even talking. We're literally not talking about those cats growing up to be high level success because, yeah, if you're making 85K, yeah, that is a good high level success. It just is. And we're just talking about households so they can combine with their spouses and make all this stuff and then put that there. But once again, that stability right there. Little baby, you need to get it in order with your child. Because if you lose your son, your oldest son, the youngest one could be lost even more. Because it is the oldest son who passes down the sagacity that you provided to him so that he does it right there. They dang near speak the same language. That's why in China, they put the smart kids and the dumb kids dang near side by side, because what the teacher instructs, the smarter kid adapts better, but he could speak it to the quote unquote dumber kid. So the dumber kid kind of figures it out a little bit. And that's where that goes. It is proximity to achievements and success that will make you that, because what you can emulate, you have the ability to question, so that way you can mold. And he doesn't have that. Pathetic. And for some people who will jump in these comments and go, oh, he's just a kid, he's just a kid. Show me your friends and I will show you your tax bracket, your success. Some people watching this who are in disagreement, can I ask you this one simple question? What does that kid gain from that relationship with that young dude? Honestly, is it supposed to be a dose of reality? Well, it's not. It's not a dose of reality. If little baby plays it right, that youngin can go to an Ivy League or HBCU. It doesn't matter. It just matters about it matters about community, communication, camaraderie, and continuance. But some of these people that will criticize what I'm saying don't get it. Look at the quote unquote prodigies. Look at all these kids who sat here with the mindset of this youngin' and didn't get it. And I don't want y'all to go, it's a black thing. It's a black thing because y'all remember Chet Hanks. Tom Hanks' son, he wanted to be a street dude so bad. Got tattoos. I got the homie fade. You see what I'm saying? And then went out there and crashed out and started doing a bunch of drugs.
My together, and I'm doing pretty damn good. And I had to try something new, and that thing was to not do any drugs or alcohol. A couple months ago, I was selling coke, doing coke until I couldn't even snort it up my nose anymore because it was so clogged. I even smoked crack. If I can change, you can change. There is a solution. If you're struggling with this, take yourself to a meeting. You know, call some people, pray to God, and watch the miracles that unfold. Stuff I was in the media about the N-word and everything. This is not my place to speak on that. And I'm genuinely sorry for the people that I offended. It's been a long journey for me discovering who I am because of all the pressures that I've dealt with in my life, you know.
Is that what you want? Because he decided he wanted to be hood. And then it was a straight arrow downhill from there. And now he can only live off his daddy's income. So we can understand what the success of generational wealth was going to be with him. He might mess around and impregnate a bunch of women and then that could lose it all. He's in California. He's in the worst state to ever have a child in and go to court. I know. I've been there. I'm speaking from personal experience. I'm the hood lawyer, so I won ultimately, but it shouldn't have never got to that. There ain't no, yeah, man. This is just beyond disrespectful. And the little baby, what do you want your legacy to be? With your son, what would you want your son to understand about this thing called life? Do you want him to spin the globe and think that to himself, oh man, this is so fun. But when it stops and he has to realize something, he's not going to get it. And the realization is you look in the mirror and you talk to yourself about who you are, and what you're becoming. And when he ultimately holds that conversation, it's going to be pretty damn stupid because he's not going to be able to say anything that makes sense. So nah, bro. I know I'm probably sounding like the old man on the block, but the old man on the block, when y'all really sit down and y'all talk to him, y'all realize something. Up here, he got everything. And skill-wise, he knows way too much. He done forgot more than what you know. That is a disrespectful kid. And I don't mean it as though he's trying to be. You can be willfully disrespectful, negligent disrespectful, but it's still disrespectful. And it's disrespectful to the man that his father became to put him in position. And this is why these rappers, these young men have to get around their kids. Because once you get around your child, the child starts to emulate you. So then the question is, what is your son picking up from you? I wouldn't have had cats like that around my son. There are people within my family that will never meet my kids because I don't want my kids to copy anything like that. Mine is like this. 3 out of 4 of them got businesses. They know how to do nails. They know how to cut hair. They know how to do all of these things, these money-making qualities. All my kids know how to drive trucks. And some of y'all are like, oh, wait, what? Yeah. All my kids have driven semi-tractor trailers, and they started at 11. Took them to a yard. So now, God forbid, but if I end up leaving this earth, they have skills and they have regularity and familiarity with how to do something that will always be there for them to make money at the high income. That's a skill. So they don't have any fear of jumping in to that truck that sits so high. And they understand about turning radius. They already have a familiarity that when they want to, they can put it in their back pocket and then go on and live life. And whatever they fail at, they may get to a point and part where they fail so much that they had to restart. And when they restart and they start to go forward, They can do that with driving a damn truck. It's not the only skill I've taught my kids, but it's the one more prevalent. So when you cats, and I know some of y'all gonna be like, oh, well, you're not doing it for your child. I 100% am. I 100% have. Spoiling your child, wrong. Making your child suffer with certain things, wrong. And why would you say suffer? Because you can't make a child suffer. Their mindset isn't like yours in that fight or flight mode. But you can put them through tests and encourage them and teach them skills so that way they can hurdle obstacles and problems, but not suffering. Suffering is the worst. But who knows, man? Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe Seti Nash is tripping. Maybe Seti Nash don't know nothing, and what he's been doing and how he's been doing it has been wrong. And you know what? Y'all may be right. Or what points did I hit on that you agree with? Be curious to read the comments on this one. And if you like what we do over here, y'all know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. But until then, we reloaded.